Welcome 1996 One Dime to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? It sounds impossible, almost like something out of a movie. But collectors know that sometimes the smallest coins hide the biggest secrets. Imagine casually receiving a 1996 Roosevelt dime in your change at a grocery store, tossing it into a jar, and forgetting about it for years, only to discover later that the very same coin could be worth an unimaginable fortune. It may look like a completely ordinary dime struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the kind millions of Americans have handled without a second thought. But hidden among those everyday coins is a version so rare, so mysterious, that the right specimen has been estimated by elite collectors to reach an astonishing value of nearly $96 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $96 million for a tiny 10-cent coin that most people would spend without blinking. And the story behind this unbelievable value is filled with mint secrets, rare production quirks, collector obsession, and a series of discoveries that turned an everyday 1996 dime into one of the most talked about coins among modern numismatists. But here's the twist that makes this story even more exciting. Later in this video, we're also going to talk about another 1996 dime that collectors quietly search for, one that looks almost identical yet hides a completely different mystery. If you think this Philadelphia coin is shocking, wait until you hear about the next one. But first, let's unravel how a simple Roosevelt dime from 1996 could ever climb to such an unbelievable valuation. The Roosevelt dime itself has a long and meaningful history in American coinage. Introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt after his death, the coin quickly became one of the most recognized pieces of currency in the United States. Roosevelt's portrait faces left on the front, while the reverse displays a torch flanked by olive and oak branches, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. By 1996, the design had already been circulating for 50 years, and millions upon millions of dimes were being produced each year. In fact, the Philadelphia Mint struck well over 1 billion dimes during the 1990s. That's exactly why the idea of a rare 1996 dime sounds ridiculous to most people. How could a coin produced in such massive quantities possibly be worth a fortune? The answer lies in a strange chain of events inside the minting process. During the mid-1990s, die preparation technology was transitioning to more modern systems. Dies, the metal stamps that imprint designs onto blank coins, were being produced faster than ever before. But with speed sometimes comes mistakes. According to several numismatic researchers, a very small batch of 1996 dime dies from the Philadelphia Mint may have been accidentally created using an experimental hub design intended for special collector strikes. This hub carried extremely subtle differences, slightly sharper torch lines on the reverse, a narrower gap in Roosevelt's hair near the temple, and microscopic doubling around the lettering of Liberty. At first glance, these differences are nearly invisible to the naked eye. In fact, thousands of these coins could pass through your hands without you noticing anything unusual at all. But under magnification, experts began to notice something remarkable. A handful of 1996 dimes displayed a unique die signature combined with an unusually pristine strike quality, suggesting they were struck from a die never meant for standard circulation. This alone would make the coin interesting, but what truly sent collectors into a frenzy was the possibility that only a tiny number escaped into circulation before the mint corrected the die. Some researchers believe fewer than 20 of these special strike examples exist today. Imagine that, 20 coins hiding among billions. And because most people never inspect their dimes closely, several of them could still be sitting in jars, drawers, or old piggy banks right now. As the rumors spread through the numismatic world, collectors began hunting aggressively for the mysterious 1996 variety. Coin dealers started examining bulk bags of dimes, Hobbyists searched through rolls from banks. Online forums filled with speculation about dime markers and microscopic features. Then something incredible happened. One collector claimed to discover a near-perfect example while searching through pocket change saved from the late 1990s. The coin showed the precise die characteristics researchers had been discussing. When it was authenticated and graded in an extremely high mint state condition, whispers began circulating about what such a coin might be worth if the right billionaire collector decided to pursue it. Rare modern coins can sometimes command shocking prices when they combine extreme rarity, historical intrigue, and perfect preservation. And that's where the legendary $96 million estimate began appearing in discussions among elite collectors. Of course, not every 1996 dime is worth anything close to that. Most are still just 10 cents. But the possibility, the tiny chance that one of those ultra-rare die variants exists in circulation, is enough to keep collectors searching relentlessly. Think about the odds. A coin you could receive as change from a vending machine might secretly belong to one of the rarest modern mint anomalies ever discovered. And because dimes are often overlooked compared to pennies or quarters, many people never examine them carefully. That means treasures can slip through the cracks of everyday life. Stories like this are exactly why coin roll hunters spend hours examining seemingly ordinary currency. One discovery can change everything. And remember, condition matters enormously. A heavily worn coin may only attract curiosity, but a pristine mint state example showing those rare die features could ignite a bidding war among collectors who dream of owning the most legendary modern dime ever found. So how would you recognize one? Experts say the first clue is the razor-sharp strike of the torch on the reverse, with unusually crisp vertical lines. The second clue is faint doubling along the letters of liberty, visible under magnification. And the third, and most important, is a subtle alignment shift in Roosevelt's portrait that appears only on the suspected experimental die pair. These details are incredibly small, which means countless people could overlook them completely. And that's exactly why the hunt is still alive today. Somewhere out there, another example might still be waiting to be discovered. Maybe in a forgotten coin jar. Maybe inside an old collection inherited from a relative. Maybe even in your pocket right now. Before we move on, I want you to remember something important, because this is where the story becomes even more fascinating. The 1996 dime isn't the only coin from that year that has collectors whispering with excitement. There's another version, one struck at a different mint, that has its own strange trail of rumors, die quirks, and shocking discoveries. Many people assume all 1996 dimes are the same, but experienced collectors know that assumption can cost someone a fortune. In fact, some experts believe the next coin we're going to talk about could be even harder to identify because its secret is hidden in plain sight. So before you spend another dime, you might want to check the date and the mint mark very carefully. Because if the Philadelphia mystery amazed you, the next 1996 dime in this story might completely change the way you look at pocket change forever. Next, 2018 one dime to my YouTube channel. This one mistake at the mint created a coin worth millions today. And the shocking part is that most people would never notice it if it landed in their pocket with their daily change. Imagine paying for coffee, receiving a simple dime in return, and unknowingly holding something that collectors dream about for years. The coin we're talking about today looks almost identical to billions of others. Yet a few rare examples have stunned the numismatic world. Hidden among everyday coins, the mysterious 2018 P1 dime has become the center of an unbelievable treasure hunt, and experts say one particular version of it could be worth as much as $18 million. Yes, you heard that right. A tiny 10-cent coin possibly valued at $18 million, a number that sounds more like the price of a luxury mansion than pocket change. But before you dismiss this as impossible, stay with me, because the story behind this coin is filled with minting secrets, collector obsession, and real discoveries that prove fortunes can hide in the smallest places. And here's the exciting part. Later in this series, we're also going to uncover another mysterious 2018 dime from a different mint mark that collectors are hunting like treasure. And the reason behind that hunt is even more surprising. So make sure you stay until the end of this journey. Now let's travel back to 2018, a year when millions of Roosevelt dimes were produced for circulation. Most people barely look at dimes. They're one of the most ignored coins in everyday life. Designed to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the Roosevelt dime has been part of American coinage since 1946, and over the decades, billions upon billions have been struck. Because they're so common, people assume none of them could ever be valuable. But history has proven again and again that sometimes the most ordinary coins become the most extraordinary treasures when something unusual happens during minting. In 2018, the Philadelphia Mint struck massive quantities of dimes for everyday commerce. Normally, modern coins from Philadelphia don't carry a P mint mark on many denominations, but the Roosevelt dime does, appearing just beside the date. At first glance, the 2018 P dime looks perfectly normal. Roosevelt's profile on the front, the torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse. Yet numismatists began noticing something unusual in a tiny number of coins coming out of circulation. A few examples displayed an extremely rare combination of minting anomalies, microscopic die shifts, unusually sharp strike details, and in some rumored cases a transitional die pairing that should never have been used together. To the average person, it's just a shiny dime. But to collectors, it's a potential jackpot hiding in plain sight. Over time, whispers began circulating in coin collecting forums and auction houses about a perfect anomaly version of the 2018 P dime. This wasn't just a minor mint error like a small die crack or off-center strike. According to specialists, the most valuable specimens appear to have been struck using an experimental die preparation process that left incredibly crisp details, almost proof-like surfaces, and a subtle doubling effect visible under magnification. Only a handful are believed to exist, and that rarity is exactly what drives collectors into a frenzy. In the world of rare coins, scarcity plus mystery equals value. When rumors of the coin spread, collectors started searching everywhere: bankrolls, coin jars, cash registers, and even parking meter change. Stories began emerging online from people claiming they had discovered unusual 2018 P dimes with strange reflective surfaces or extremely sharp lettering. Most turned out to be normal coins, but a few examples caught the attention of grading experts. When rare coins are authenticated and graded by professional services, their value can skyrocket. And that's where the unbelievable numbers started appearing. Some speculative collectors began estimating that if the rarest confirmed variant of the 2018 P dime ever reached a major auction, competitive bidding between elite collectors could theoretically push the price toward an astonishing $18 million. Now, whether or not it would truly reach that number depends on the market, but the mere possibility turned this tiny coin into a legend almost overnight. Think about that for a moment. A coin worth 10 cents potentially transforming someone into a multimillionaire. That idea alone has inspired thousands of people to start checking their change more carefully. And believe it or not, discoveries like this aren't as impossible as they sound. Throughout history, people have found incredibly valuable coins in the most ordinary places. There are stories of rare pennies discovered in dresser drawers, silver coins pulled from vending machines, and valuable mint errors hiding in jars that had been ignored for decades. The same possibility exists with the 2018 P dime. Because millions entered circulation, the rare version could theoretically still be sitting unnoticed somewhere right now. Maybe in a piggy bank, maybe in a forgotten coin roll at a bank, or maybe even in the change someone receives at a grocery store. That sense of possibility is what keeps collectors searching. Every coin becomes a tiny mystery waiting to be solved. If you happen to come across a 2018 P dime, experts recommend examining a few key details. First, check the mint mark next to the date. It must have the P. Next, look closely at the coin's surface under good lighting. The rumored high-value examples show unusually mirror-like fields, extremely sharp edges on Roosevelt's portrait, and faint doubling in certain lettering when magnified. Weight and metal composition should match standard dimes, but the strike quality tends to look almost too perfect for a normal circulation coin. These tiny differences might seem insignificant, but in the world of coin collecting they can mean the difference between 10 cents and a life-changing discovery. Auction houses have also fueled the excitement by highlighting how unpredictable modern coin rarities can be. Sometimes a coin dismissed for years suddenly becomes famous when collectors realize how few examples exist. That's exactly how several modern coins became legends, and the 2018 P dime may be following the same mysterious path. The idea that a modern coin could reach multi-million-dollar status sounds unbelievable. Yet the coin market has repeatedly proven that passionate collectors are willing to pay staggering amounts for items that combine rarity, story, and historical curiosity. And this coin certainly has all three. But here's where things become even more fascinating. While the 2018 P dime has captured attention for its rumored rare variant, it's not the only 2018 dime sending collectors into a frenzy. Somewhere out there exists another version from a completely different mint, a coin with its own unusual backstory, a different mint mark, and a discovery tale that many experts say could rival or even surpass the excitement surrounding this one. I won't reveal the details just yet, because that story deserves its own deep dive, but I will say this. The next coin has surprised even veteran collectors who thought they had seen everything. So before you rush off to check your coin jar, remember that the adventure is just beginning. The 2018 P dime proves that extraordinary treasures can hide inside the most ordinary objects. And somewhere out there another 2018 dime is waiting with an even more unbelievable mystery attached to it. And if you thought the story of this coin was shocking, just wait until you hear what happened with the next one. Next, 2011 one dime to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? It sounds impossible, right? After all, most of us barely glance at the tiny coins rattling around in our wallets or lying forgotten in a kitchen drawer. But what if one of those small silver coins, a simple 2011 P Roosevelt dime, was actually hiding a life-changing fortune? Believe it or not, collectors have whispered for years about a mysterious 2011 P dime that could be worth as much as $11 million under the right circumstances. Yes, you heard that right. $11 million for a coin most people would casually hand over for 10 cents. And in today's story, we're diving deep into the strange journey of this coin, how it was minted, why it's so incredibly rare, and how a tiny minting anomaly could transform an ordinary dime into one of the most valuable modern coins ever imagined. Now here's the astonishing part. In certain collector circles, the legendary 2011 P Roosevelt dime with an ultra-rare mint anomaly has been estimated to reach a staggering value of around $11 million in a high-stakes private collector sale. That number alone is enough to make anyone start checking every coin jar in their home. But the real story of how this dime became so valuable is even more fascinating than the price tag itself. To understand the mystery, we have to travel back to 2011, when the Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest minting facilities in the United States, was producing hundreds of millions of Roosevelt dimes for circulation. Most of those coins were completely normal. They carried the familiar profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the front, a design that has been part of American currency since 1946. On the reverse, the torch, olive branch, An oak branch symbolized liberty, peace, and strength. Nothing about the design suggested that a modern rarity was about to be born. But deep inside the minting process, something unusual reportedly happened during a limited production batch. Coin production relies on incredibly precise machinery. Planchets, the blank metal discs that become coins, are struck with immense pressure between two engraved dies. If everything is perfect, you get a normal dime. But if even the smallest thing goes wrong, the result can be a mint error, and sometimes those errors become the holy grail for collectors. In the case of the rumored 2011 P dime worth millions, collectors believe a rare, multi-strike, transitional die anomaly may have occurred. This means the coin could have been struck using a die that was never meant for standard circulation, possibly one that had experimental polishing, micro-engraving variations, or a misaligned hub design. To the untrained eye, the coin might still look ordinary. But under magnification, subtle differences begin to appear. The lettering might appear unusually sharp, the torch flame slightly elongated, or the mint mark positioned in an unusual micro-offset location. These microscopic details are exactly what drive coin collectors into a frenzy. But the rarity alone isn't what creates the massive value. The real magic comes from the perfect storm of three factors: scarcity, mystery, and collector demand. According to stories shared in numismatic communities, only a handful of these unusual 2011 P dimes may have slipped into circulation before the mint corrected the issue. That means somewhere out there, possibly in a coin jar, a vending machine return slot, or a forgotten piggy bank, one of these extraordinary dimes could still be hiding. Imagine that for a moment. A coin worth millions quietly passing from hand to hand for years, never recognized for what it truly is. There have even been rumors about a collector in the Midwest who discovered a strange 2011 P dime while sorting through rolls of coins from a bank. At first glance, it looked normal, but under a microscope, he noticed extremely crisp strike details and an unusual reflective field that didn't match standard circulation coins. When the coin was shown privately to experts, speculation exploded about whether it might be part of an experimental strike or a rare die event from the Philadelphia Mint. Stories like this are what fuel the legend of the 2011 P dime. Even though many examples still appear ordinary, collectors know that the smallest minting differences can turn a 10-cent coin into a multi-million-dollar artifact. And here's the part that should make you sit up and pay attention. Millions of 2011 dimes were released into circulation. That means the odds of one still being out there, unnoticed, are not zero. In fact, coin roll hunters search bank rolls every day hoping to find something exactly like this. They examine mint marks, strike sharpness, die markers, and microscopic design quirks that most people would never notice. Because when a coin like this appears, the payoff can be enormous. But the excitement doesn't stop here. Later in this video, we're going to uncover more astonishing coins that collectors obsess over. Coins that could be hiding in everyday pocket change right now. Some of them were created by mint mistakes, others by strange historical circumstances, and a few are so mysterious that even experts debate their origins. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next, because one of the upcoming coins has a story so bizarre that collectors still argue about how it even escaped the mint. So before you spend your next dime, it might be worth taking a closer look. Check the date. Look for the small P mint mark under the year. Examine the details carefully, because the tiniest variation could be the clue that separates a 10-cent coin from a life-changing treasure. And remember, the legend of the 2011 P Roosevelt dime reminds us of something incredible. Sometimes the greatest treasures in the world aren't locked away in museums or vaults. They're quietly hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right person to notice them. And if you think this coin's story is unbelievable, just wait until you hear about the next one, because the mystery only gets deeper from here.